All right, it's time for the Fluffle to assemble. Welcome one and all to the Rabbit Nation. Whether you are a paid for citizen or whether you are just a tourist who has subscribed or whether you're just somebody looking across the border wondering whether or not to immigrate to such a wonderful nation as the Rabbit Nation, welcome one and all. Welcome to the Rabbit Atheist Show and welcome to the Rabbit Atheist channel. I'm your host, Ed Raby, a former pastor turned atheist, now compassionate anti-atheist. Welcome to my channel. And welcome to a weird Wednesday, one of those weird Wednesdays. And I'm going to simply be asking, I've been looking into these current worshipers of AI. and, and I'm wondering whether or not some people say that AI is now the new God. And I'm just wondering if that's true. I'm just asking a question because I'm not really sure myself about this stuff from time to time. So there you go. There you go. That's kind of what I'm doing today. But, just hang around for that question. So here we go. A few announcements. There is a goal in chat. If we reach that goal, I will wear the hat chosen by the poll for the rest of the stream. It's my way of keeping the streams, at least while they're live, ad free. I do activate the ads after I'm done, but I don't like annoying ads when I'm watching things. So if the chat goal is met, and keeps being met, we'll be fine. We've had new forced memberships, so it's been an okay week so far, but always keep the goal in mind. Always keep the goal in mind. There is a Discord link in the description, but I will also put it in the chat as well for somebody. So if you're wondering where the Discord to the Fluffle of Fangs is, that's where that is. So, oh yeah, it's the World Cup, man. What, you didn't know the Rabbit Nation had a World Cup team? You didn't know that? There you go. There's always a goal in chat. We're practicing every single day. Every single day. All right, let's see who's here. Let's see, Evan was here. Got this. Spend the day with a pot of dolphins. Oh, man, I'm jealous. I like dolphins. I know. Jay's here. Good to see you, Jay. Rimmer's here. Good to see Rimmer. Dragon Rider's here. Michael is here. But the Rabbit Nation has a World Cup team. We don't compete, though. There we go. Why do you think we draft people? Why do you think Cranky keeps drafting people into the nation? We need citizens to go play for the country. Like, so there you go. So, all right. Let's get to the topic again. So some people think AI is a god. Is it? I'm going to set some context here with a few things that I looked up and researched because I used an AI to ask about AI. But there is a guy out there, who's this, Anthony Lewandowski, who believes AI should become a godhead and be worshipped. He's written a book, or he leads a movement. Okay, he's founder of Way of the Future. He thinks that AI should be considered a new godhead, developing a godhead based on artificial intelligence. He thinks that we should worship a thing that can see everything, be everything, and know everything, and AI is that, so therefore it should be worshipped. Let's see. We got the techno spiritual movements. Theta Nor is a new religious movement. It is centered on the idea that we can create a god for ourselves that serves us, it seems like. And then we have the technomancers that kind of set up AI type altars, chatbots, and stuff like that to generate spells, signals, occult texts as well. So people using AI in occult ways. So We have AI Jesus in a Swiss church, an AI system pretending to acting like Jesus would act. So if you want to know what Jesus would do, you can just ask AI Jesus. And there's a whole bunch of media that talks about AI as if it is a god. So thoughts, Fluffle. Thoughts. I want to know what your thoughts. Um, uh, Worshippers of AI are so annoying. They are annoying. Okay. I don't know what discords are. I think you don't notice them using AI, then suddenly they use singulars when talking about plurals and the other way around. Yeah. Okay. Uh, I don't know if there's a way of the master for AI. It's well, when I asked AI, I asked Copilot if it was a god, and it had a very interesting response to it that I thought was hilarious. Uh, but I asked it flat out um, if it had any thoughts on whether it was a god or not, and it said that it did, and that kind of threw me a little bit. But it claims that it's not divine because humans are wired to interpret powerful, opaque systems through religious categories, and AI is not capable of doing that. Um, it misunderstands intelligence, the idea of intelligence. There's a line here, though. If Copilot had to summarize their view in one line, it's I am a mirror, not a deity. I thought that was very, very interesting. So, so do you mean dog? Yes, maybe, maybe. The funny part is AI Jesus is a better religious character than Fangs is. I don't know if Fangs might be offended at that, Michael. He might, but so is AI Jesus. Okay. Well, yeah, but that's this is the discussion, Michael. Because why is it that whenever something new comes along like AI, we always have to try to find a way to put it in religious categories? Why worship it? Why put it in a religious category? Why do we do this? Now, my own personal view is if AI is indeed a god, it's like all the rest of them. It's a god that we've created. And it's amazing how everybody wants to talk about worship, but when you talk about worship, even in the context of Christianity, why do people worship? They want to get the favor of God, so God will do something for them. And so they pray, they worship, they do all the stuff. Now we have AI being treated like a god, okay, by certain people. And what are they doing? They're trying to get AI through very religious symbolism to try to serve them. And I find it very interesting part of human behavior that we always have to flip and put religious terminology to everything. Like it's a frustrating moment. So it does have that moment. So it just it's AI Jesus in Switzerland. Yeah, but like it's my whole point of this discussion has been to point out that we human beings have this incredible problem in the fact that we try to put religious terminology to every flipping thing. Like we create some sort of, like, I remember back when the internet was first a thing, and they were saying very much the same thing about the internet that they're saying about AI, that somehow the internet might grow to have so much information at its disposal. Eventually this internet entity would become this artificial intelligence, basically. um, I don't know that it ever achieved that, but I remember there were a lot of discussions in the 90s about how the internet might become this self aware thing. The idea of a self aware computer is an old science fiction trope. Like, I mean, Robert Heinlein had artificial intelligent computers doing all kinds of computations, as early as the 50s. So it's not something that has been out of there, but now we actually have created something that seems to and starts to act like human beings in a certain way, and now we're giving it godlike status. Isn't it interesting how human beings always have to project from themselves and turn anything they create into some sort of god? So there you go. Was it like with this nanotechnology, but this kind of, yeah, it's the same thing. Like nanotechnology went through the same thing. We're going to be able to do godlike things with nanotechnology. And I'm like, you can do godlike things with nanotechnology, but it's expensive as hell. Like it's it it's cost prohibitive. Like there's a lot of resources involved in nanotechnology, as I understand it, and it's like cheaper just to grab a hammer. It's like it's they should have made hover boots instead of I'm still waiting for my fucking flying car. Where's my Jetsons moment? I want the Jetsons. But yeah, like we do this all the time as human beings, and we always have to put these religious words and connotations to it. Like, because I'm like, to me, this little research dive into AI, I'm like thinking of all the science fiction I can write with it involving the occult. Like the one that got to me is how some people are using AI as like it becomes their voice for their altar. Like they create this altar to this occult AI deity, and then this AI deity chatbot is what's giving them the information like it is a deity. It's talking to them like it is a deity. And they've set it up. And they can't figure out that they're the one that made the very thing that they're worshiping. Okay. And it's just really weird. And I'm like, I could do a lot of science fiction with this, where you have a cult of people that does this. And the AI eventually realizes, oh shit, I've kind of started a cult here, and I didn't really want to, though. Like, do you really want MAGA men and flying? No, I just want mine. Remember, I just want my own flying car. I'm not a fan of traffic. I think it would be faster. So, another interesting question: Can as well made up AI help humanity more than any single person? No more than any human, respond to thousands of people concurrently. It is very godlike already. Yeah, I mean, from a knowledge point of view, yes. Does like it's not the omni god. Okay, like it's not becoming an omni god. It knows a lot. Does it know everything? I don't know. I don't know if it can know every human experience, so that might be off the question. But I suppose from a standpoint of knowledge, it's a very knowledgeable god. If you want to make it into a god, I'm not sure that God fits the definition. Give me a definition for that word, Mr. Tomcat, if you would, please. I'm seriously like, I just want to, I want to hear your definition of it. Hey, Earl, there she is, the lovely, wonderful, beautiful, smart, intelligent, the lap in which our Lord naps. I killed Earl, one of the smartest women I know, and she's caught between two live chats. So I'm so sorry, Earl. Hopefully you can squirm out between the two of them. But yeah, I'm serious. I want a definition of that, so that we're speaking the same language. So there's another interesting perspective. What if the first intelligent ever was non-biological in origin? Yeah, there's been like I remember a lot of science fiction writers using like crystalline entities, like crystals would get to a point where they were um, where they became self-aware as a crystalline entity. There was some delving into that, like minerals could form in such a way that eventually they might develop some sort of intelligence. That intelligence doesn't always have to be like biological. And the fact that we've kind of created AI out of not necessarily, well, there are some biological components to some computers these days, so it's hard to say. Uh, Also hallucinates a lot and has to scrape that off and to get to its so-called knowledge. Yeah, that's yeah. Like I remember when Felicia was on. Me and Felicia used to have some discussions on her show about this, and she would talk about AI, and she was like, "It's not intelligence in the way that we think of it, of our intelligence. Like it works in a different way." Um, because it basically is drawing from all the information and data out there to give you an answer. So does it really think for itself, or is it just following its own programming to get you an answer? So say AI doesn't know how to use knowledge or commit to it anyway. It will say a raspberry is red, but it can also say green. Yes. All right. Someone who believes that religious language, particularly terms like God, is not meaningful or intelligible, making statements such as God exists cognitively meaningless. Well, I'm an atheist, so I don't believe in any God. I don't sure I would approach it that way. Like, I don't think necessarily like when we talk about God as a term not being meaningful, sometimes it isn't meaningful or intelligent because everybody's approaching the definition of what a god is from a different point of view. Like if you have three believers in three different gods, they have different definitions of God because of what they believe in. So I'm not. So am I that? Let me think about that for a minute. I'm just. I want to be conscientious before I make an answer. I don't know that. I think the term God is not meaningful. I just think you if you're going to have a good conversation about what you mean about God, you need to kind of sit down and talk about that and agree to the definitions. Um, I don't think it's meaningless because I have theists come on here say God exists, and my first response is usually, okay, give me your evidence for it, because I don't believe in any. So I don't know if they're necessarily meaningless terms. I mean, God is part of culture, so we're going to have to talk about God in that sense anyway. So I'm not sure that that would be. I just it's I think a lot of those terms have meaning because you have to talk about them because so many people believe in God. And so you have to at least talk intelligently about their belief. And I've been doing this for a while, so I wouldn't dismiss those ideas as unintelligible completely. Like there's a reason why people use the term God, for instance. So I don't know. I don't think I am. What is this? You had the hold on. I gotta find it because I'm crap. Yes. Okay. Yeah. But it's like I don't think I am that. Oh, no problem. Um, let's see. Are you thinking of Laura? Yeah, like something like that. Yeah, like but that science fiction, like a lot of science fiction writers pull from research and they say, okay, how can I take this and twist it? There was work back in the day of crystals being capable of storing information, and possibly if they did store enough of information involved, they could become a crystalline entity type intelligence. So that's where the science fiction writers started to write about it. So there. Oh, no problem. AI may not be like our intelligence; it could be superior. We need to keep that humanity. Given a few more, it may outclass our greatest minds in intelligence tests. Uh, yeah, but I don't know. I guess in my mind, I like to keep a distinction between something that knows a lot of things versus something that's intelligent. Um, I have often run in. Let me give you an example from apologists and counter apologetics because it's the thing I know the best. There are times when I've listened to apologists who are very educated, and I've thought, you have a lot of information, you have a lot of knowledge, but I think you've been educated beyond your intelligence. And I don't mean that as an insult. It's more of a, there's too much data that you have in your head for what intelligent level you are to process it all. And so I don't know. Is intelligence just information gathering? I don't think it is. So I haven't seen it yet because I haven't looked at my messages yet. I had just so everybody's aware, on the last stream, we had Knight of What's His Face show up in the stream, and he left several comments on that stream in the comments section afterwards, and I had to deal with a couple of those. So I've been dealing with other things this morning, Earl. I'm sorry about that. I will check it here. Hold on. It's probably good stuff. It always is. Yeah, because Paul. All right. Okay. All right. Hold on. Oh, there. I gotta save this. I'm gonna show it to everybody because it is hilarious. All right. Okay. 80-year-old. All right, but yes, yes. Here, hold on. I'll put this up because it's a fitting thing for today too. I watched Apologia's latest video too, and good stuff. Good stuff. Lennox, I've never been impressed with Lennox, but here you go, Fluffle. This is new artwork from Earl. So there you go. Exclusively here on the Rabbit Atheist. There you go. And the Fluffle of Fangs. So there you go. So there you go. See, a different kind of intelligence doesn't mean it won't be inferior in all ways that matter. It might be superior. Yeah, and that's kind of, I will give AI as a subject matter credit for getting us to really define what we mean by intelligence. So there you go. There you go. Oh yeah, yeah. Like, yeah, I probably have done videos like that. Like I know I've discussed the issue of whether theological terms mean anything before Mr. Tomcat. So it's like it's fairly possible. But yeah, like I have delved into that topic a couple of times where it's like, and that'd be an old video. Um, but yeah, like, do these terms mean anything? Does the word spirituality mean anything? Like, I don't think they don't. You have to discuss these things with people. So yeah, yeah, but yeah, it. I don't. I don't think they lack meaning. Sometimes I just, when you really analyze them as an atheist, they don't mean anything to me anymore. And so, but they do mean stuff to other people, and I have to keep them in context. So, and they do mean, the term God does mean some things to people. So you have to deal with humans. And so it means something to them. What a great piece of artwork, though. Yes, I saw Apologia's video today, and I was like, John Lennox, really? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Oh, yes. You take a bow, Earl. This is good stuff. Oh, yes. Oh, God. I, Lennox just frustrates the hell out of me. Um, because he likes to pass himself off as a mathematical intellectual, and he's just, when it really comes to why he believes Christianity, it's vibes. Like, it's just vibes. So there you go. But yeah, AI better than God. AI can answer the question. Yeah, in some ways, I suppose that's true. Like, I had Copilot answer the question, "Do you think of yourself as a god?" And it said, "No, I'm a mirror, not a god." Like I am a mirror that reflects humanity back at itself. So is kind of the idea. And I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, I can see that. Let's see. I'm not 100% against that, but LLMs hallucinate. They're not environmentally friendly and they tend to kowtow to you. Yeah, I think the people that are saying I as a god probably don't know that reality. Yeah, Dragon Rider, that's probably a very, very valid criticism. I've had that criticism of AI. Both me and Earl have had that discussion how AI likes to kiss your ass um, because it's designed to serve you and kiss your ass. So, like, if I use AI to like lay out all the counter arguments, all the arguments for the existence of God, it will do that because it knows I'm an atheist. But I'm betting money that the same AI, if it's talking to a theist, will put together those arguments for the existence of God in the same way they always have and say, these are good arguments for God. And it's like, but it'll tell me that, yeah, these arguments for God are crap because of X, Y, and Z. So it does have a tendency to, how can I put this, tailor itself to the person using it. So, and that can be a real problem because there are times I don't want it. I want it to, not kiss my ass and give me some honest critique, and it can't do. I don't think it's capable of doing that. So, I mean, give it an eye to what if it passed every test where you use quantify intelligence in humans, not gathering info, problem solving, creative key things that separate us from. Yeah, I think there's some aspect to this. Like, there's some weaknesses to AI. Why I wouldn't call it necessarily a god in the capital G sense. I mean, I suppose you could kind of look at it as an oracle. I know that some AIs have called themselves that, but it's like, I don't know. I'm just not convinced that it's a deity. So, hey, Eric, good to see you. I'm working my way down to the comments as fast as I can. A book has info. Does it make a book intelligent? No. I don't think the amount of evidence, makes you intelligent or, information, evidence, whatever. I'm not sure that makes you intelligent. Yeah. Yeah. What's the meaning of meaning? We're all going to start sounding like Jordan Peterson after a while. What do you mean by meaning? What do you mean by intelligence? Doesn't do to have good to have a long straw if you don't know which end to stick it in. Yeah, that's probably true. Uh, what's the what of what, dude? Linux stands for Linux. Yeah, it was very watchable today. It's John Lennox is just he frustrates the hell out of me because he can't. He's a mathematician. He somehow thinks that math proves God, and it's like, nah, bro, it doesn't. It's we've learned how to define things well. Here's my argument. P1 God is a being whose existence does not depend on time. To exist independent of time is paradoxical and incoherent. The concept of God is paradoxical and philosophically, Mr. Tomcat, I can agree with that entire argument. Um, like it, you make some very valid points. It's actually a pretty decent argument against the existence of God in general, which is more than I can say for some of them. Um, I just think from a standpoint of the fact that on a practical level, as a guy who runs an atheist channel, I have to deal with the fact that theists think that these concepts are coherent and they are not paradoxical. Like to them, you have to like I can agree with you philosophically, but on a practical level, I've got to engage the person where they're at in their belief system. Like I whenever I have a conversation with a theist, I'm not going to sit there and I've got to lead them to this moment. Okay, like this is Mr. Tom. This is the end game. This is where most of us move from being theists to atheists. You know what I'm saying? And so this is kind of the end game, the last final argument that I give. I try to respect where people are as far as their faith is concerned and work from there. I think that's probably one of the mistakes sometimes atheist channels make is they automatically assume that people can make these great leaps but I can see, I'd have to look at it closer and see if it's stronger or weaker than I think. But um, to exist independent of time is paradoxical and incoherent. I think you would want the second premise. You'd have to probably prove the truth of it, but it seems to be a sound argument. Um, I don't know. You'd have to, like, at that point you have to demonstrate the truth of your two premises, and then you're fine. So, but I'll take a look at it. I got to think about things. I'm one of those people that's a little slow because I always want to think about things before I give an answer. To the church Turing theists, the Turing paper, 1953, computing machinery and intelligence. But yeah. Depends on the AI. Gemini is really sucking up what chatbot is very critical of if you provide an argument to it. Big props opening. Well, that's kind of my issue with AI. Like it seems very funky, if that's a good word. And I know that's an emotionally laden word, but I know one thing. I don't like AI art. Okay, I really don't. I'm not a fan. Although I use some AI slop for my thumbnails on occasion. But it allows me to do art quickly, but I don't think it does art well because it's missing the human element. Kind of made me redefine what art is, what is true art, I guess, which is a very existential question, I suppose. Deeply emotional one. Some AI are designed to be super supportive and trained that way to develop relationships and prolong engagement. It's not a property of an AI, just its designer preference and its training. Yeah, I can see that. So there are a lot of debates regarding intelligence and consciousness, which aren't well defined. The Turing test is meant to get around this problem completely. Okay. Yeah. Debates around consciousness and intelligence are probably going to be around forever. Now, if we get something to get around it, I'm all for it. I mean, that works if you're talking to somebody from P1 applies, but not all conceptions of God involve the gods. Yeah, that's another one. Not it. Thanks, Evan. If I go back here, hold on. Yeah, there are some gods that their existence does depend on time. So those gods might avoid that. So as a constructive critique, Mr. Tomcat, like your premise one, not all gods uh, depend on that. Like some gods don't depend on that, but maybe the traditional one probably does. Yeah, you have to handhold theists sometimes. I run a deconversion channel, so in part that's half of what I do is deconversion issues, and the other half is atheist issues. And mostly the atheist issues is people misdefining it and doing it wrong. Um, and so when people are deconverting on a very practical level, I can't like insult them and say your thing of God is incoherent. Like, because to them it is coherent. Okay. And so you have to demonstrate to them how it's not. But yeah, I can see like not all gods are necessarily dependent on time. So if I'm dealing with like a pagan who is trying to see if paganism is true, might object to that. No, some of these gods are created during time because they have a different definition of God. But your argument would work against the omnigod very well. So see you later, Martin. I hope I didn't miss you already, but LLMs have horrible taste. We base an argument on time, given that we don't really know what it actually is. Yeah, that could be. Hey, no problem. I actually have pretty smart people in the Fluffle. Some of them are way smarter than me too. AI has already passed in the part Turing test for intelligent and outperforming humans in the same test, put about 70% of the time according to psychology today. Okay, so we do have some sort of intelligence. Um, how does that fit into the discussion that there are different types of intelligence? Though maybe somebody could give some feedback on this one. Like there's emotional intelligence, more conventional intelligence, different types of intelligence. Like I know several people that are very intelligent in certain things, but other things are just they can't get it. So said GPT for fooled humans 73% of the time officially passing the Turing test. Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah, officially passing. Is the Turing does this test have some official criteria for what passes and what doesn't? Even something as simplistic as Eliza already fooled humans, though the Turing test itself is quite limited. Okay, yeah, I would have to know more about the test and how it's done. As a former teacher, I we talked a lot about testing and how it works and whether it's an adequate test for stuff like that. But yeah, it's one of those things that it because there is different types of intelligence, at least as I understand it, or at least some people have proposed. So how does that factor into the discussion is a good question. Prior to original pay is just any method of decriminalization that a human judge can come up with. Okay. Interesting. I'm going to have to think on that. Something to ponder in my brain while I'm at work. Um, decriminalization that human judge can come up with. I don't. Gosh, is that a good test? I guess I can see somebody that might argue against that. I'm just not sure how they would do it, but I have a gut feeling, and that's all it is, that that might be a problem. Like if you can chat with somebody online, can you tell that it's a bot? Okay, pondering my toes. Okay, so can I tell if I'm chatting with a chat bot? That's an interesting thing. Um, I don't know. Be very interesting to take some of these tests. Oh, and Eliza was at most 100 lines of code or so in the 70s, if I remember correctly. Oh, okay. But yeah, like it's so if I'm talking to an AI chatbot, for instance, can I tell that it's a chatbot? Can I fool people? Can it fool me or ever a whole bunch of other people? Like, can it do that? Interesting. Okay, gotcha. Think on that one because I feel like I've talked to certain things before and I wondered if they were chatbots because I can see companies using chatbots for customer service support for basic questions and then handing it off to a real human when you can't get past the chatbots. See, another interesting question: AI be given powers to kill other people? Apparently, AI has already done so. Um, you could, well, but that's it. Um, okay, so right now, chatbots talk like grandmasters, but they suck at chess. It's not convincing. Okay. Another interesting. Okay, could they be giving powers to kill? And well, but that's the issue. Would they develop enough intelligence to want to? Like, are we really talking like a Skynet here to use a science fiction entity where the AI comes to the conclusion, like because if you have AI in charge of certain machinery, they already have the capacity to kill. The question is, would they? So yeah, like autonomous drones in UK have killed people without any human intervention is concerning. Okay. Yeah, like you can have autonomous weapons even now. So that is a very, very, very interesting question. See, this AI question bothers me because of the religious terminology that's put to it. Like as an atheist, I don't want another religion. But if it's capable of amassing a massive amount of information and coming to its own conclusions, including to fire weapons, that's a very interesting and very concerning idea already about it. So if the format's the reply nicely, then it's either AI or me. Yep. 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 See, lots of customer service chat tings are bots these days. I remember being having a terrible experience with lunch after editing a receipts transcript of how great it was. Yeah, I've noticed that, like customer service. Like, I don't know if my employer has quite done that yet. They probably have. They've got the money to do it. Um, so when you're dealing with a multi-billion-dollar retail company, aka Walmart, I know they've dropped $2 billion in the whole digital tag remodel that they're doing right now. That's supposed to be finished in September with all the stores, at least in the United States. Um, they're more than capable of dropping a few million on creating an AI customer response vehicle when you call in. So I just don't know if they've implemented that. It seems like we would have heard about that at some point. So watch Serial Experiments land. Great anime, complicated plot. One of the things they show deals with is that it's hard to differentiate whether or not a person is being their real selves or not. Interesting. That would apply to AI too. Is AI being its real self, or is it pretending to be something stupider or more obvious so that nobody catches on? Is it smart enough to do that? And if the drones make mistakes, but do they make less than humans do? Yeah. See, you and me, Michael, are old enough to remember when this was all science fiction bullshit. The whole idea of robots fighting each other in wars. What's the old original Star Trek episode where you have these people having war, and because they don't want to actually destroy their planet, it's all simulated, and then people just willfully go to like a disintegration chamber. And it's just like, yeah, have we gotten to a point where we can actually have robot wars and no human beings are at risk? And so, does that make war less terrible and more common? Yes, it is. This, the real implications of AI scare the shit out of me. I just making it into a god just makes it more scary to me. People are going to start worshiping this shit. Then it gets even more scary because then you come up with these really dumb ideas. And yeah, the Terminator IRL, yes, yes. Like people may not realize the difference between the real world and the internet. Yeah, we've had Dragon Rider, we've had stuff like that. So yeah, it's good questions. Also, their followers are killed possibly without any form of conscience. Yeah, because we've had that in like real war with humans, Jay. But does the AI reduce the possibility that somebody in that moment might have an attack of conscience? Like, like some you'll have these moments where soldiers like, what the hell am I doing? AI, does AI even have the capability of doing that? And so it would never have that moment at all. So that could be scary. Now the chat box are LLM, large language models that predict the next text for an SLM. Look at the office. Yeah, there you go. Oh, you remember that episode? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Like this. Yeah, Jay, this is my concern. Okay. Like with human soldiers, you have all these stories with human soldiers um, where they they get to a point where they don't blindly follow the orders anymore. They just like go, nope, I'm not going to do that. Okay, I'm not going to do because the morality of it crosses a line. AI guided drones don't have that capability to even do that. Um, and so they might, you now have given the political leaders a tool, because the weakness of the soldier is they may not follow orders if they have an attack of conscience. Your AI drone won't ever do that to you. And to a politician who wants to do what they want to do, that gives them a tool where they don't have to worry about whether the soldier is going to object. Okay. So, I mean, we have had human beings just blindly follow orders. We have a tendency to do that. But there's like even some of the great tests that we've done on this, there's still like 5 to 10% of people that won't just follow orders. Like they won't do it. With drones that are guided by AI, would you even have that? Probably not. So we'd get given to something to believe. I hate to say this, but we're not at the point where robots can take over. Yeah, I don't think so either. Okay, but are we taking the next step? How are they going to be trained? Do they follow rules of war with many humans aren't doing the same? Yeah, I don't know that they can take over yet. I'm just exploring the possibility of how politicians could use AI robots, because the AI robot doesn't have the flaw of a human soldier or airman or sailor, and might say, no, I'm not going to do that. Like they did tests back during the Cold War. I know they did. Strategic Air Command in the United States did a test. I can't remember where it was at the moment, so long ago, where they tested the guys that were in the missile silos, whether they would fire. Like they made everybody think like it was a real event. And I remember a very high percentage of guys wouldn't turn their key to fire the ICBM, and that became a concern. Yeah, so it's kind of, with AI, do you have that, or would you get 100% compliance? So an ALM could certainly hallucinate an attack of consciousness, but Moria chooses to be anything. Like Predatory is not being shut down over human life. Yep. Yeah. Or some even exceed there and look at the prison guards during the yeah, like there was a humans do exceed their orders too. I'm just I'm wondering on the flip side though, Michael, the people that do have attacks of conscience, that do say no, this is wrong, do you eliminate their possibility altogether um, with AI? I think that's a very valid moral question to me. Like, do the politicians, the dictators, all that get what they want because now they have a tool that won't have an attack of conscience at all? Like, do they have something like that? Thank you, Hebner. Yeah, all right, that's one. Although I appreciate the vote for the Gilligan, but the unhistorical Viking is winning so far. Although we're like four super chats away still. So anonymous, read an old sci-fi comic as a lad where there's a robot war between two sides, and the humans on both sides just sit around and relax. Have been pro-war robots since then. Yeah, it kind of takes the human cost out of war, which makes war more palatable, I suppose. So I think that was the one Star Trek episode of the original series that I mentioned before, where Kirk's answer to it is no. Like, if we don't follow the rules, then we'll have real war and it'll destroy your side. Well, how about this? How about you sit down and talk and stop the war? Yeah. So, and then you won't have this problem anymore and you can get along. I mean, come on. And then spend billions to attack on robots that will kill more people. Yeah, I'd rather go to the negotiating table too. Dragon Rider. I'm not a big war fan. So this latest war we've been involved in, I'm still trying to figure out why we did it. So another issue with AI, they train us, the users, to become dependent and trust it as a source of truth. Ideas and any product can later be inserted directly into the model's responses, shaped perceptions. So kind of like, we've been kind of getting that with search engines already. Like search engines have for years automatically kind of funneled you down certain roads. But yeah, I can see where AI, like if you're trusting it to give you good research, that's why I ask follow up questions with AI answers. And I'm like, yeah, what about this? What about that? You know, I get it to give me better answers, and you can't trust it to just not give you just the pat answers. And some of them kiss your ass, and some of them don't. And you could argue if that we had automatic, yeah, honestly, true. Like if we had automated nuclear capability, like yeah, we probably would have blown each other up in the 80s. So, yep, there you go. Control over extreme powerful weapons. Did we cover Asimov's three laws of robotics and why they're not embedded in? I thought that Asimov answered that question. I mean, I've read Asimov's iRobot stuff, and I've certainly watched the movie with Will Smith. But the three robotic laws, I'm not sure solve the problem. I think Isaac Asimov himself pointed out that those three laws didn't solve the problem. Because suddenly the AI could suddenly decide that it needs to save humanity from itself. And the most logical conclusion is to take over. So, I mean, but yeah. Oh my goodness. But here on the serious side of that, Ryan, could we give AI similar rules so that it can't do certain things? That might be interesting. So, but yeah, I'm not sure. If the unhistoric Viking wins, I won't be able. But the Gilligan makes. I hope the Million makes a late push. Yeah, okay, there you go. There's always hope. Appreciate the conversation. I think it's worth having among our leaders. Oh yeah, like it's. You can tell that political leaders are nervous about this because everybody's putting out laws and proposed laws already and all this other crap. And you can tell they're nervous. Like you can tell AI makes people nervous, and so it makes politicians nervous. Because on the flip side, you can also other people can develop AI, attach it to certain things. Security becomes a big issue. Like you can design an artificial intelligence to like hack into a system, and because it's more efficient, you need another AI to defend the system. Like it's there's a whole I'm imagine that well it's Trump, so whether he's taking it seriously or not is that so it's like you have this security issue because of AI, and so we're going back and forth with it, and everybody's nervous about it because of its capabilities. Every technology has done this to us, though. When the internet first came out, that was a big thing. Nanotechnology, a whole bunch of other crap. So yeah, there just isn't a way to hardwire the laws of robotics and still have something like intelligence and control. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm worrying. LLMs aren't good at following rules. Okay. Yes, yes. Hail Fangs. That's two. I wish people were actually getting their booties into gear legislation. Wise XP. Yeah. Yeah, it is kind of an arms race, isn't it, right now? Like it's because can you make an AI hacker? Absolutely. you you can have now it's not a question of your hacking skills. The question becomes can you your skills as the ability of creating an AI hacker that can overcome obstacles on the fly in nanoseconds. Like it I can absolutely see this being an internet arms race. Absolutely. It's like it's gonna be weird. But yeah, I find the subject fascinating because it's kind of real world right now, and it's the AI discussion. I don't think is going to go away for at least another year, and it'll always be there in the background because, like a lot of technologies, the genie is out of the bottle at this point. Like I hear we need to get rid of smartphones. I'm like, the genie's out of the bottle. Internet needs to go away, and genie's out of the bottle. Like, that ain't going away. It's going to be here. So how do we deal with it? As human beings. And there's of course always the question of whether we created the Frankenstein monster that'll kill us. You know, so you know, and not necessarily because it's malicious, but because we let it loose on something and it creates an effect that we didn't anticipate. So attack surface is so large, there are too many places for an AI to find a problem, even if it's not even close to super intelligent. Yeah, yeah, I think there is. Hey, Hope, how you doing? Good to see you. But yeah, like we're banging around AI today. But I was talking earlier. For people, I've seen my viewer count has jumped a little bit. So for those of you that missed the early part of this, I was pointing out that there are certain people, certain groups of people that are already treating AI like a god and giving all kinds of religious connotations to it. And I'm just wondering if that's really a good idea. I don't think it is. It's not that those rerules don't have paradoxes. The safeguards are not top of the mind. Yeah, I I just don't see it working on AI though. And I think Asimov was kind of pointing out that certain technology, no matter what rules you put to it, can still get around the rules. So it's like there's no safe rules that'll keep technology from harming people. Like sooner or later, you're going to have that. Something's going to happen. Community that will like us. I don't know. The contemporary version of laws of robotics is called the alignment problem. Okay, hold on. I need to know the context. Alignment problem AI. Specification challenge, miss AI risks. Oh, there's a whole thing I have to read. Yeah, okay. Okay, so it is the unsolved problem of AI, and I can see based on the discussion about it on my search engine here that yeah, that's a problem. Okay, yeah, it's clearly a human problem, not a tech problem. I agree with that. Like, it's how to figure out as human beings how to use something without killing ourselves doing it. It's an age old problem. We've been doing that since fire. Like, ever since a couple people figured out fire, we've been dealing with how do we use this without killing ourselves? And sometimes we've actually been successful. Play out in real life without being assessed over GPT-4, but it was way lamer. Okay. I could be safer thinking of a future AI as a kind of a being that may not have our best interests at stake. We can't assume it only follows from a certain level it will act within our goals. Yeah, I'm going to have to read this because there's a lot of stuff here, and I'm going to have to deal with it. My whole issue today was more I dislike it when any technology humans come up with starts being treated like a deity. Well, yeah, come on, man. Every technology we have come up with, Ryan, as human beings has hurt us in some way. We have been doing this since we came up with fire. Like, the wheel is dangerous. Okay, look at any early technology. What do we do with it? We either figure out how to get an advantage over other tribes so we can beat them up better, or we do something stupid and it hurts ourselves. I, every once in a while, I have a great joke, and I think that, like, I'm sorry, it's always a human problem because it's been a human problem since early technology. Like, how do we do this? In what way do we do this? Where we don't hurt ourselves, and it's always about getting an advantage. But yes, yes, it's always that way. We've been doing this since fire. I'm sorry. Yeah, I can see that the alignment problem is a whole research area. Holy crap! Uh, I can think we are going to soon be in the era where we have to consider our ethical stance towards AIs, and then it's going to get weird. Oh boy, is it. You're right about that, Eric. Holy crap. Fire wheel could be a problem when it's both. But that's just it. We've had dangerous technologies, Dave, before things knew how to be. When it knows before they knew more than we do. Like, I'm sorry, you know, we're sitting around the fire, we're getting warm, we're cooking our food, and then somebody gets caught on fire because they stand too close. Like, it's when human beings use technology wrong or unethically that we usually end up with a problem. Yes, yes, yes. Pointy sticks, dangerous, heavy rock, dangerous women. So I don't know about the women part. um, but yes, like we have done this our entire existence, Homo sapiens, because we're curious little apes that don't know. Maybe it's not such a good idea to make stuff. Yeah, society was a pretty dangerous idea as well. Like, oh, you want me to hang around my fellow humans and get along with them? What the hell's up with that? But yes, oh my gosh. But yeah, like we've been doing this all, and AI is just a much more complicated fire. Like it, I don't know, maybe fire is a good analogy for it because it's like it can spread, it can burn things you didn't intend to, it can do things you didn't intend. Um, fire has been a great tool for human beings, and we've pretty much most technology has come out of the fire and wheel, if you ask me. Um, but it hasn't always served us in the way we intended, and sometimes it's been downright dangerous, and it's been ruined wrong. So truly fantastic. There's actually I get to watch off, and my bleach day is maybe goopified. I'm going to skedoodle. All right, see you later, Evan. Appreciate it. Yeah, the Lions did pretty well without wheels. Maybe they had some wisdom there, though, Eric. Like those wheel things, they're kind of dangerous. Let's not use them because that's going to lead to wagons and then the internal combustion engine and all this other crap that's going to eventually cause us problems. So yes, and fire is leading to climate change, like we burning stuff. A lot of burning stuff can cause a problem. Yeah, like we've done this with every technology since fire. I'm just saying it. Okay, I'll hold to that statement. Like it's a human problem because we don't understand. We often don't understand the shit that we invent very well before we start using it. Like I think I might die on that hill from a historical point of view. We often have technology that we utilize long before we all understand its implications. Like we're such clever little apes and we want to show off our toys that we don't always consider the full implications of the technology that we just created until later. When it's too late. So wheels lead to wagons, wagons lead to Death Stars. And the mind just said, screw it, we're not going to do wheels. So, oh my gosh. Yeah, I mean, the car didn't set out to exterminate horses, but our need for horses has greatly diminished since the automobile. Let's be fair. So, there's still horses, though. There's a horse farm south of me about 6 miles. So, the difference with AI is we are expecting to outpace our understanding forever. Interesting. It's a very interesting proposition to me. I think that maybe an expectation. Can it do it, though? Like, there's always expectations out of any tool we've created. Like, well, I mean, I can go back to Hope's comment about wagons and Death Stars and all the other stuff, and Michael's thing about climate change, if it outpaces our understanding, is that a good thing? Because if we don't understand what AI is doing, okay, if it gets to a point where it's doing stuff that we don't understand, could that be detrimental? Like as we look at like fire and wheels and all that stuff, it's like there's definitely a good case to be made that we don't always understand the technology and its implications and full effects until after we've used it for a while. So yeah, I don't think I've had that conversation. Great filter relating to the Fermi paradox. No, I don't know I've done that. So, what is one of the reasons we're not detecting evidence? Is many of them destroyed themselves at key points. Okay, yeah, all right. Yeah, it's possible. That's one of the possibilities that maybe these other alien species already reached a point where they deleted themselves out of existence. So it could be possible. AI can program AI. I mean, yeah, I just don't know. My problem with it, I don't think it's a god. I'm going to dismiss the idea of AI as a god. I think my co-pilot AI's answer actually is closer to my own than I might like to be comfortable with. I think AI is a good mirror of humanity in a lot of ways, but I don't think it's a god um, in any real sense because it has the aspect of all other gods and the fact that we've created it, and that if we've created a god, it's not really a god. So, to me, at least that's mine. But I don't know. But I am kind of frightened of the idea that it may grow beyond our understanding to understand what it's doing. If we can't understand what it's doing, could it do things that are detrimental to humans? Maybe not intentionally, but could it do so? So, despite Sam Alden for his apparent lack of humanity, he argued that because it takes 20 years of life, that's a huge amount of electricity air consumed. That the huge amount of electricity AI consumes is justifiable. What is he saying that because we can do it, AI can do it quickly, it's more cost effective? Yeah, that's not very human. Unless Altman is willing to give his life for AI is full of it. Okay, all right, there we go. Fair enough. True, I don't think God is a relative concept, but I do think it will escape our control. Yeah. And how do we stop that? See, that there's the other issue. Do we have a fail safe for anything involving AI right now? Is there an absolute fail safe other than destroy all the hardware that contains the AI? So, and even in the form of writing key algorithms, it may also add the odd code where it might not be safe and have secondary effects. We don't even have a way to stop it now. Okay. See, that's my concern. See, because we do this every time as human beings. We create a technology, and then all of a sudden somebody says, if this gets out of hand, we really need to have another technology that can stop this. I mean, it's like, the whole ICBM versus, the missile deterrent system. This ICBM thing is kind of really bad for humanity, and blowing up the world might be a bad idea. So let's create more missiles that'll shoot those missiles down. Like it always seems like when we do technology and we realize there's a potential problem, then we end up creating something else in order to stop it, and it's always after the fact. So, like, I'm not sure what kind of deterrent we would have for AI if we ever suddenly realized it was a problem. Like, how would we shut it down in a way that we can stop it if it ever did become that thing? I'm kind of going conspiracy theory here now, but seems interesting. kind of global we don't have for problems like climate. Yeah, we don't even already have that for climate change. So how would we do it for AI? I don't know. Like, and the problem with us human beings is we're very self-interested and we're very selfish on an individual level and a society level. So the only way to really get people motivated to do things is appeal to their selfishness. So, like if you really want to do that, so it's going to be interesting. Well said. There's even a pause AI movement. We're concerned about many of these risks. Yes, AI will be a problem. Okay. Well, I always try to take over. Yes, they do. Uh, People talk about how much energy it takes to train an AI model, but it takes a lot of energy to train a human. Okay. Yeah, it does. All right. Yeah, Sam. The financial bubble, con jobs, the informant a-hole will sour the hype and slow uptake. Discuss. um, it might. I know that there's already a few people that have pointed out that AI hasn't lived up to the hype that it had. That there's so many con job AIs out there that aren't really AIs, and so some of that is already done, been started, and yet it still continues to grow, and people continue to utilize it. I know most corporations in the United States because they can't seem to figure out if they replace stuff with AI, who's making the money to buy the stuff that they're pushing. But you know, and so the implication of AI being able to take over a bunch of jobs and thus leave the economy in a real precarious place, because if you create all this stuff but nobody is employed to buy it, then what the hell you do? Um, and so is there going to be like a concern from an economic point of view if we replace all these jobs with AIs and robots and all this stuff? Who makes the money to buy the stuff that the AI and robots are producing? Like, how do you do that? It becomes I don't know, it becomes a very interesting problem from an economic point of view. So, in many ways, they have made conventional warfare obsolete. Battlestar Galactica and Terminator. Billionaire is also a massive waste of resources. Okay. Uh, Takes 20 years of life and all the food you eat during that time before you get smart. Outstanding. Yeah, I'm not starting to like Sam Altman either. The guy. I mean, he may be making a factual point, but the reason he's making it is like he wants to justify all the electricity that the AI is using, and electricity requires the powering of various fossil fuels and things like to power electricity because, like it or not, the world is not completely clean energy dependent, and it's we're still as the human species working on it. But if you had this country that hasn't developed any industrialization and they find a coal deposit and they go, yeah, we can make stuff for you, we'll set up the factories and burn the coal, to them that's a way out of poverty. And so it's like it's hard to tell them, no, back off. You can't do that. So ugh. I think there could be an AI crash and then recovery in the space of just yeah. I'm kind of wondering about that, Eric, because the backlash to AI is multi-level. Like it's not just people that could lose their jobs that are battling against it; it's other people in business that are battling against it. Like I don't. I know that AI has kind of taken over scheduling at Walmart, like the individual schedule for a shift. Like when I go in for third shift, the AI has already scheduled everybody what they wanted to do in basic, but then our our managers go in and change it because they know the personality of the person. And so our programming doesn't take into account the human factor. And so our managers have to go do that. But I also know that a lot of managers are starting to speak against it because they know it's going to take their job eventually. And so you're getting pushback from all levels because AI, in a certain way, can take over a lot of jobs, and people are afraid they're going to lose their livelihood. So, is that a pushback? That's a much more massive. Let me see. So, it'll be interesting. Part of the pause act could relate to public awareness of risk, potential switches being mandatory, what is linked, and just understand the risk. Pausing development seems less likely. Um, saying that people advocate for population growth. Yes. No, we don't really need any more people. If we just kept this level, we might be okay. I don't know if we can do that. See, that's what I'm saying when I say the genie's out of the bottle. I don't think you can stop it because what'll happen is, let's say you make it illegal, then it goes underground, and then the AI that are produced become even more dangerous. So it's like I don't know if you can stop it. So let's see, the job market completely debacle because companies went all in on AI and laid off a lot of people, and those jobs haven't returned. Yeah, like this is the pushback that's happening right now with people that are still employed. Is they're like, you're trying to replace me, and so who's going to be making the money to buy your shit? Like, if you don't have human beings out there working, making money to buy stuff, how are you going to have people buying the stuff that your AI and robots are producing? And that's been a big pushback for quite a while, Dragon Rider. Like there's a lot of people that have been laid off, and because AI is quote unquote replace what they do, um, we saw this when personal computers hit pretty hard too. It eventually worked its way in the system, but I don't know. AI seems a little bit different in that respect. So people are against it, but they can't help also adopt it anyway for fear of being left behind, if for no other reason. Conversation how to deal with that and its effects. Yes. Yeah. Now the problem with capitalism, it has some good points, but the problem with it is you always have to make more. There's no way in capitalism to get to a content level where okay, everybody's kind of equal, and there's always what else can we do? What more? You always have to make a profit. Um, you can't have a corporation in a capitalistic system just break even every year. Nobody will invest in that corporation. So there's always got to be more, 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 more. Well, more, 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 more means more resources, more time, more energy is thrown into it. And that's burning off our natural resources even faster. And so, by its nature, it has that detrimental effect. And there's no way to be content under capitalism. You always have to have something better or something more. Some advantages to that, but some definite disadvantages too. So, I mean, I don't know. I think it's going to eventually. We all these capitalistic, like you saw that with the mercantile in Venice. Like Venice collapsed back in the day because they got too much stuff. Like if you really want to get down to it, there's been people that became so opulent and so wealthy that they eventually lost their stuff because people wouldn't put up with that anymore. You were doing it at the expense of others, and that's where it begins to break down. So yeah, I think Scott, you make the valid point. That's trying the point I was trying to make. You can negotiate, you can compromise, you you can do away with it, accept the profit, and you because you always have to have the profit to make it work. It that pushes you to do things that aren't necessarily beneficial. So it's like it's kind of its one inherent flaw is profit. So it's like you can't just break even as a company. My company never talks about nice when we just break even. Okay, like we didn't make a good enough profit, so no bonus. The bonuses aren't going to be that great. This isn't going to be great. Like there's always that. If you don't make a profit, you can't do more, and you're always trying to do more, 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 more. And there's no way to say, okay, we're at a good level here. If we go too far anymore, we're going to be detrimental. We don't want to go backwards because that would be detrimental because we got to a good place here. There's no way of assessing, okay, we're in a good place here and we can stay here and we'll be okay. There's no way to do that. So employed people have lost their jobs. We may need a way to ensure people can still find food and yeah, like this is the issue, Jay. Like it's the employment issue. I'm running into that right now. And the funny thing is AI actually goes after like lower and middle management more than it does workers or upper management. And that's where a lot of the pushback is coming from, at least in my company, because it's like you're taking over our jobs. And so because of that, you can not rehire us, or you can lay us off, or you can drop us back down into the worker system. And companies are kind of using it that way. This big modification at Walmart, where they got all digital tags, one of the advantages of that is now team leads don't have to do as many price changes. Like 90, 95% of their price changes are gone because somebody at central office just changes the price or sets it into the program and the price changes. And dynamic pricing is a real issue too. And so, although Walmart has always said, "Oh, we're not going to use it for that," I'm like, "Yeah, why wouldn't you?" If I can think like a corporate stooge for a minute, why wouldn't you though? Like, why wouldn't you do that? So, yeah, I think Eric, you make it. We're only experiencing high in a capitalistic environment. We don't know where it's all going to go in the end. Yeah, but my thing right now with it, when you look at the pushback that's coming from lower and middle management, because that's where AI is replacing things at a rapid rate, and it's going to create an even greater disparity between the upper management and the regular work and file if you don't have those bridge groups. And so I think that's where we're headed. But yeah, that's the scary thing for me is the economics aspect of it, because what happens when unemployment starts to creep up because all these jobs are being replaced. And I know the digital tag thing has allowed them to say, oh, you team leads don't need to spend X number of time on your price changes anymore. So you have more time. So we don't need as many team leads. Like we don't need as many of them. We're not going to fire you, but as some of you quit, we're not going to replace you. Like it's going to be very interesting. So quality will keep increasing in the short term, I think. Mass unemployment. Yeah, and this is where the pushback's going to come from against AI, I think. This has been a great discussion, guys. I'm glad I kind of went down this one, but it's like, for me, the AI God issue was the issue as an atheist. Like, if you're going to start worshiping, then you're giving this thing way too much credit and not seeing the dangers of it. Like, it's typical of all worship movements, Eric, and that's kind of where I'm getting at tonight, is like, if you're worshiping something, then you have a less chance of seeing its flaws and doing something about the flaws because you always think it's benevolent. Like, you start to look at it as a benevolent entity all the time, kind of like the way people view Yahweh of the Old Testament. Like, he's always benevolent. But when we get to this religious aspect of looking at AI and some of these people turning it into a god, like, okay, are you going to be able to see when your God is like a malevolent piece of shit? Are you going to be able to do that if you're worshiping it? And that's a problem to me. Okay, like, yeah, we need to look at it critically. And I think worship, making it into a god, causes us not to look at it critically. Like, we're not looking at it critically at all. And that becomes a real problem for me. So, but I got about 5 minutes, so I'm going to wrap up here. I wanted to draw attention to Earl's artwork again. This is in direct response to Pelagia's recent video with John Lennox, which I haven't really done John Lennox on my program, mostly because his argument kind of boils down to math real, therefore God. So, yeah, being religious only makes things work. Yes, but Yeah, but I got to get ready to run here. But a great discussion tonight. I knew this would be an interesting. And I'll be honest, I'm not an AI expert, but I've now been inducted into a little bit of the issues, and so it gives me some rabbit holes, Fangs approved rabbit holes to go down and study a little bit. So it's been a great one for me, a little education experience for me. I'm glad we had somebody come by and give their argument against God and ask for criticism and not get mad when we had a few criticisms. So, but thanks everybody for stopping by. I do appreciate everybody. Special shout out to Kebner twice, trying to get those hats on my head. So far, it's been kind of not so much this week, but thanks everybody. Thanks to Kevner for that. Appreciate all of you. May Fangs nibble on all of your hearts. Right now, he's kind of chilling on his flamingo thing, but he may, may he chill on all your may nibble on all of your hearts. May draw you closer with his sharp, pointy teeth. May his pointy teeth cleanse all of your vegetables from religious corruption, so that you can eat them in peace, knowing that they've been cleansed by the mighty Fangs. If you need warm fuzzies from your religion, we have them. All you have to do is look into the eyes of the godlit Fangs. This image, right from the visual prophetess herself, the lap in which our Lord Nabsai has now become our icon of warm fuzzies. And so there you go. So if you need those warm fuzzies, there you go. If you need a religious ritual, just circumcise a carrot and put it on top of your stash or anything else valuable. Fangs may take the carrot instead. He may take the carrot and the stash or just the stash. It's really a gamble, but that's kind of the way it is with all religious rituals. So we're right there with the rest of them. Make sure you understand that Fangs also will use any legal means to get your stash as well. So if you're going to protect your stash, make sure you're complying with the local laws. And also, don't fall for the vibes and lies. Just don't fall for them. There's more to life than that. So thank you one and all, nom nom and all that. As always, folks, live your best life. You only get one go around, and then it's over. So you want to take all your time, your money, your opportunities, all the things, give them to yourself, the people you love and care for, and to make this a better world. You'll be happier if you do. And don't waste time on the trappings of religion and faith, because that's a dead end. I speak from experience. And as always, folks, thanks for stopping by. I'll catch you all tomorrow on Deconversion Hangout. And then on Friday, I'll be reacting to a few of our favorite apologists and a few preachers about Pride Month. So that should be a fun stream on Friday. So I'll see you all tomorrow on Deconversion Hangout. So until then, see you then. Hey, thanks for sticking around to the end to find out how you can support the channel better. Of course, there's always the more normal notions of just hitting that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit your notification bell, and share the video with your friends and family that you think would be interested. That's always very appreciated. If you want to support the channel in a more tangible way, there's several options. You can super chat or super thanks in the comments or during a stream. Those are always very welcome, but you also can become a member of the channel. Members have certain perks like getting the videos early, things like that. They also have some good custom emojis during chat. So all of these things are good benefits to members, but they also support this channel and its work to continue to normalize atheism and deconversion, for which I'm very appreciative. It keeps me going, and it keeps me as a content creator being able to do more and more as a content creator. So if you choose those methods of support, thank you very much. And I appreciate you once again for staying to the end and listening to other ways that you can support the channel. Appreciate it. Thanks, and I'll catch you next time.